All right, welcome back, everyone. It's another beautiful day. Another kind of crazy day, but very good. Other than that, we're all on this side of the ground and have a lot to be thankful for, so that's good. So we are at Genesis verse 29 and 30. We're just kind of like wrapping up this area. All right, so like I was saying, it's been a overall good day. We're all alive and got some food in our bellies, hopefully. And we have a lot to be thankful for. So, again, I'm going to start in the King James Version, kind of work my way from there, and then as stuff comes up, then I'll talk about it. This is all off the cuff. And so, yeah. All right. Oh, and I found a translation for the names. So, like I did last time, so I'll keep using that, so it'll be good. And all right, so this is verse 30, or whatever it is. It's like the number 30 at the top of the page. I don't know what that is. So, and he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when the Lord saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben. For she said, Surely the Lord hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband will love me. And she conceived again, and bare a son, and said, Because the Lord hath heard that I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also. Okay, so back to it. Sorry about that, guys. Had to pause for a little bit. All right. There we go. He hath therefore given me this son. Also, he called his name Simeon. And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me, because I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi. And she conceived again and bare a son, and she said, Now I will praise the Lord. Therefore she called his name Judah, and left bearing. And when Rachel saw that she bare Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister, and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead? Who hath withheld thee from the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhah. Go unto her, and she shall bear upon my knees, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhah, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhah conceived and bare Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, and hath given me a son. Therefore his name Dan. Therefore called she his name Dan. That's very difficult to pronounce, some of that. It's all like messed up. Not messed up, it's just mixed up. It's not like I'm used to. And Rachel said, and Bilhah, Rachel's maid, conceived again, and bare Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, with great wrestlings, that I have wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name, I don't know, I have to pause it. Naphtali. That's what it is. It's Naphtali. I would have never got that either. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took... I gotta pause it again. When Leah saw that she had left bearing, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a son. And Leah said, A troop cometh. And she called his name Gad. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bare Jacob a second son. And Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. Man, they're just doing whatever. It's like, we just lie together. It's fine. And I'll pay you mandrakes if we lie together. Sounds like kind of weird. And she said unto her, It is a small matter that thou hast taken my husband, and wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? Okay, let's skip past that. No, I just read that part. Therefore he shall lie with thee tonight for thy son's mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the evening, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with my son's mandrakes. And he lay with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived, and bare Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, God hath given me hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Isaacar. And Leah conceived again, and bare Jacob a sixth son. And Leah said, God hath endured me with good dowry. Now my husband will dwell with me, because I have borne him 6 sons. And she called his name, I gotta look it up, Zebulun. I should have just guessed it. Should have trusted my gut. Remember, trust your gut. Most of the time can't go wrong with trusting your gut. So when you second guess yourself, you start having problems. That's what I figured out anyway. And afterwards she bare a daughter, and called her Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and God hearkened to her, and opened her womb. And she conceived, and bare a son, and said, God hath taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph, and said, The Lord shall add me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto mine own place, and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go. For thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned by experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto him, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hast before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude, and the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now, when I shall provide for my own house also. So basically, what I'm seeing is, he was broke. Guy came, made him not broke. And now he just wants his comeuppance. He just wants it. And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me a thing. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep thy flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, moving from thence all the speckled and spotted cattle, and all the brown cattle amongst the sheep, and the spotted and speckled amongst the goats, and that shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when it shall come for my hire before thy face, every one that is not speckled and spotted amongst the goats, and brown amongst the sheep, that shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it might be according to thy word. And he removed that day the goats that were wearing streaked and spotted, ring-streaked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it, and all the brown amongst the sheep, and he gave them to the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey betwixt himself and Jacob fed the rest of Laban's flocks. And Jacob took him rods of green poplar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and piled white strakes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had piled before the flocks in the gutters, in the watering troughs, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they come to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-streaked, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and he set the faces of the flocks towards the ring-streaked, and all the brown in the flock of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stronger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutters, that they might conceive amongst the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in, so the feebler were Laban's, and the stronger were Jacob's. So he's kind of using his noodle, isn't he? Just a little bit. This backhanded way. But I guess he lied to him, so he's just kind of getting his kind of payback, I guess. But retribution really doesn't do anything. He just wants his wife's, plural, and his kids, and to probably not starve to death. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and maidservants, and manservants, and camels, and asses. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all his glory. And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not towards him as before. The Lord said unto Jacob, Return unto thy land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock. And he said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that is not towards me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father have deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times, but God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, the speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, the ring-straked shall be thy hire, then bear all cattle ring-straked. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass, at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring-straked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion of inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he has sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God had taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up, and set his sons and wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle, and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padam Aram, for go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. So what I'm saying is, like, Rachel and Leah were like, where's our stuff? Is there any for us? It's like we were just, trying to do the right thing. And they got sold. That's fun. What are they thinking? What are they thinking? They're not worth nothing. They got sold. What the heck? All right, let's keep going. And the band went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not, that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, And he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob, either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban and his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done? Why hast thou stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with thy sword? Wherefore did thou flee away secretly and steal away from me? And did thou not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, and with tabret, and with harp, and hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolish in so doing. So basically what I'm seeing is like, if you told me you were leaving, I would have gave you stuff, but he's lying. Obviously he's lying because he lied before and he lied before and he keeps lying. It's like, how many times is this fool going to keep lying before people stop believing this guy? Because he keeps lying. I don't know about you guys, but I do not like liars. Obviously, he didn't either because he ran. All right. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt, but the God of your fathers spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed, and thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou swore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I had said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. So he's like, you're going to steal my wives. This is getting juicy. He said, I ran because you're going to take my wives from me, and I knew it. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and taketh to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went to Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the 2 maid servants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and set upon them. And Laban searched all in the tent, but found them not. And she said unto her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin, that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff? What hast thou found? All thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt both of us. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought unto thee, I bear the loss of it. Of my hands did thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus I have been 20 years in thy house. I have served 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and the 6 for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac have been with me. Surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God hath seen my affliction, and he labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered and said unto Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto the children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. They took stones and made a heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jagar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, The Lord watch between me and thee when we are absent from one another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughter, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee. And Laban said to Jacob, Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham, and the God of Nahor, and the God of their father, judge betwixt us. And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac. And Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his palace, unto his place. Which is good, because I thought things were going to go down, but they didn't. They didn't go, it wasn't all crazy. He ended up being like, okay, because he lied to him so much. He wasn't honest at all. If he would have just been honest, it would have been a lot better. But no, he had to try to get everything. It's like he used them up. He used them up like a workhorse. And then he rebelled and he left. If he would have done the right thing, who knows where it would have been. He could have still been there working, or could have left a long time ago. But the fact is that he did wrong. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for coming to see me. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.